Welcome to CBN4's Primetime News Package. I am your presenter, Sheena Harry. Families affected by Tropical Storm Erica can expect some relief in the form of government assistance. The Labour Party government and Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit have announced that they will offer additional aid to families severely impacted by the passage of the storm. The Prime Minister stated a number of decisions were taken in respect to those affected and we've started providing the displaced residents with income support, so every family will receive an allowance every month from the government. Not only will families receive this monthly stipend, but those who suffered repairable damage to their homes will receive assistance to carry out those repairs. Skerrit emphasized, "We've provided assistance to those whose household items were destroyed or damaged. We've given them cash to replace those. Persons whose homes have been affected, doors got damaged, windows or flooring, and required funds to repair those, we have provided them with funds." The Prime Minister insisted that small businesses, including farmers, will not be left out. Funds have been allocated for those businesses in need of government assistance to resume operations. The Prime Minister said that although this is a daunting task, progress is being made. In more news, the Trafalgar Wharton Waven Bailey Bridge will soon be completed following a decision for work to recommence on that project. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, during a recent visit to the project site, said the visit was necessary for an immediate decision so the bridge can be completed.
There's a suggestion that we should seek to get another Bailey Bridge to take it across to the adjoining road, or we may want to consider concreting the remaining length to allow for vehicular traffic. This present one that's up is about 90 feet in length, and I believe 16 or so feet in width. And so we need to get another length of about 80 feet to take us completely across the river.
Skerrit said they have a bridge which is 110 feet long. However, there are other locations on the island which require assistance, so that must be taken into consideration. Some of the other areas include Vauxhall in Melville Hall and the reinforcement or possible replacement of the Bailey Bridge in Geneva Grand Bay. The family of the ill former Prime Minister Patrick John is calling on Dominicans to continue praying for his recovery. John, who had been complaining of shortness of breath and returned to the hospital, was flown out of Dominica to Martinique for additional medical attention last week. Journalist and family friend Carlisle John Baptist said John's wife is constantly updating him of John's situation.
Like she said, she continued to ask people to pray for her, pray for the family, pray for Mr. John. He's still in the ICU, but responding very well to treatment. So we can only hope for the best. And, we continue to, let people know that, give them all the latest developments as it relates to that.
John Baptist said persons wishing to contribute towards John's medical expenses can do so at the National Cooperative Credit Union on account number 10316712. According to John Baptist, to date, the account has received just over $41,000 in donations, for which John's family is thankful. In other stories, as yet another Caribbean island is impacted by the Zika virus, the Ministry of Health has taken a preventative approach to dealing with the threat of an outbreak in Dominica. With outbreaks reported in Martinique and Venezuela, and most recently 8 cases in Barbados, Chief Medical Officer David Johnson says the ministry is dedicated to preventing an outbreak rather than just treating it. Part of the ministry's plan is to provide educational support for the general public.
Another element of our plan, as I indicated, focuses on the reduction of the breeding sites of mosquitoes. We need to mobilize the community in terms of an aggressive source reduction. We have to focus on the removal of potential breeding materials such as tires, old refrigerators, drums, anything around your home that can store water outside and inside of the home, which is exposed to the breeding of mosquitoes. These must be addressed.
The ministry will be using biological methods in an attempt to get rid of the breeding sites.
I should say our plan of action involves an aggressive public education campaign to empower the general public to take the necessary measures to protect themselves against the bite of mosquitoes, particularly Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, as well as the reduction in the number of breeding sites of those mosquitoes.
He states that the possibility remains that an individual may bring the virus into Dominica and go by undetected. However, the ministry is taking steps to ensure that risk is minimal. Blood specimens will be taken and rigorously tested from those who are suspected of having the virus. Though about 75% of those who are infected show no signs, the symptoms of the Zika virus include fever, rash, joint pain, and red eyes. Johnson says that the ministry is in constant contact with regional health organizations to keep abreast with the new developments and will keep the public informed. A hotline has been set up for anyone needing information or assistance at 448-2151. After a night of fierce competition on Saturday at the 2016 Calypso quarterfinals held at the Newtown Savannah, 20 out of 33 Calypsonians were successful in making it to the Calypso semifinals round. Newcomer Janae Jackson made it through to the semifinals. Jackson, who is a student of the Dominica State College and a former junior monarch, sang "My Love, My Country" at Saturday's quarterfinals at Newtown. Two other female Calypsonians also qualified for the semis. They are Charis B and Stingray. Earl White Jr., another newcomer, Dice, Buplay, Daddy Chess, Soulpuss, Bob, Black Diamond, Webb, Psy, Observer, Checo, Shadowflow, and Benno were among those who made it through. The 2016 Calypso semifinals is scheduled for January 23rd. Also in the news, a woman from Lubia is said to be in stable condition at the Princess Margaret Hospital after she sustained severe stab wounds during a burglary on the weekend. Rhoda James received serious stab wounds after she came into contact with a man who had entered her house. Another man who was also injured during the alleged attack was released from the Princess Margaret Hospital. Police are investigating the incident, and CBN4 News will bring you more in a subsequent newscast. After being caught by an on-duty police officer with over 1,500 grams of cannabis, 31-year-old Donald Balson was charged $6,000 by the magistrate court. Balson was discovered roaming the Tatan bushes with 2 packages containing the cannabis. The police officer became suspicious, and when asked what the packages contained, he admitted that it was cannabis. Balson pleaded guilty to the charges of possession and possession with intent to supply at his initial court appearance on Friday. His attorney, Wayne Nord, pleaded with the court to not impose a custodial sentence, citing Balson's low income, lack of prior convictions of that nature, and the small quantity of cannabis found in his possession. Chief Magistrate Candia Carrot George instead imposed the fine, which Balson has until December 2016 to pay or risk jail time. Lawyers for Chartered Accountant Kieran Peanut Byrne have requested that the opposition leader Lennox Linton pay $80,000 before Thursday this week. Peanut Byrne and Linton were in in a court battle over defamation charges in which the London-based Privy Council ruled against Linton in October. The chartered accountant said subsequent to the Privy Council's ruling, his lawyers served Linton with a demand letter ordering him to pay with interest the award of the High Court of Dominica. Peanut Burns stated, "As you know, the Privy Council's judgment reinstated that judgment of the High Court and set aside the appeal decision of the Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal." According to Peanut Burn, Linton has 7 days to pay or face the consequences. The High Court award against him was 50,000 EC dollars plus $14,000 in legal costs plus 5% per annum interest on that judgment from its date unto the current time, brings the total amount to just below $80,000, Burn announced. Peanut Burn added that Linton had 3 years to set aside this money, so I would be surprised if he doesn't pay, so I won't hypothesize about the consequences at this stage. I fully expect him to pay. He has been on notice since the High Court decision. Meanwhile, it has been confirmed that Lennox had received the letter from Peanut Burn's lawyers. Reports are that local radio Q95 will be hosting a radiothon on Linton's behalf. That's all for this evening's Primetime News. Once again, I am your presenter, Sheena Harry. Have a good evening.